Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital spoilers for the next 2 weeks, May 19th to May 30th, state that Willow Corinthos will make a major decision as Emma Scorpio Drake plans revenge on JOSSLYN Jax. Carly Spencer will also grill Vaughn. So here's what GH fans might expect. During the week of May 19th to 23rd, Sonny Corinthos will pressure Willow to postpone the court date until Michael Corinthos is well enough to return home. Willow will have to make a significant decision, but it may not be the correct one for JOSSLYN. JOSSLYN will meet Willow at the nurses' ball, and eventually clash with her. After Nina Reeves slaps Carly for attempting to take Willow's children away, she'll have to calm down and focus on some red carpet activities. Nina will not be pleased that Drew Kane will be her co-host, but she will have to accept it. Someone will reach out to Portia Robinson and offer to be a friend if she needs one. That may be Isaiah Gannon, who overheard Portia about her marriage being in risk. Curtis Ashford will feud with Drew over the blackmail situation. Curtis, on the other hand, will have to determine whether he can handle Portia lying to him yet again, as she has done in the past. Speaking of lies, Lulu Spencer and Cody Bell will remain focused on their aim of uncovering some. Of course, we're talking about the adoption controversy surrounding Giovanni Gio Palmieri, who is Brooke Lynn Quartermain and Dante Falconeri's kid. All indications point to Dante and Brooke Lynn receiving the shock of their lives at a Gio-related nurses' ball surprise. Will Lulu be the one to reveal the secret, or may Cody take the initiative? Lucy Coe will face a serious dilemma during the event, while Anna Devane executes a devious plot. Will Anna's plan involve scheming Jen Sidwell's downfall, or something less risky? Max Scorpio will ultimately breathe a sense of relief, so he may be grateful if Anna avoids making too much commotion. Carly will have some questions when she first meets Vaughn. It appears that Carly will go into protective mom mode and wonder what Vaughn's plans are with her daughter. Carly may mistake Vaughn for a potential new boyfriend, but she has no idea he is JOSSLYN's handler and is assisting her with a covert WSB operation. Alexis Davis and Christina Corinthos Davis narrative will also feature increasing drama. Due to some unexpected circumstances, Christina may discover that Ava is keeping her automobile sabotage secret from Alexis. Alexis is trapped embezzling Cassidy's money and risking everything for Christina's sake. Christina may discover just how much her mother knows if she receives updates on Ava and Rick Lansing's disastrous alliance. After the nurses' ball performances, Carly will receive an unexpected offer. Could Willow decide to approach Carly about a compromise after all? Regardless, Carly might easily refuse the olive branch. If another fight breaks out, the custody hearing may proceed as scheduled. Jason Morgan will receive a somewhat secretive phone call. There will be a mystery, so does anyone know who targeted Sonny in the penthouse and in Los Angeles? The week of May 26th to 30th could provide Jason with an opportunity to follow any trail that has been left behind. Depending on how things play out, this mysterious caller may lead Jason to some surprising discoveries. If the custody battle escalates, Rick, Willow, and Drew will need to hold additional planning meetings. The same applies for Carly and Diane Miller, since Carly may be determined to take the children into her care. There will also be some blowback after the entire Gio situation presumably blows apart. You can guarantee Brooke Lynn will blast into Lois Cerullo for lying to her about her son for 22 years. Dante will not be pleased with Brooke Lynn's dishonesty, so Lulu may cause quite a commotion. Will Gio find out the truth as well? Will Gio reject his biological parents as he tries to process this shock? Finally, Emma will plot revenge on JOSSLYN for stealing the research assistant position. Although Emma intends to prove JOSSLYN sabotaged her, things may not go as planned, particularly if the WSB intervenes. According to General Hospital teasers, the following 2 weeks will be filled with chaos, so stay tuned for more. Steve Burton, who presently plays Jason Morgan on General Hospital, appears to have a fantastic success rate in helping patients lose weight. This week, he took to social media to share before and after images of people he had assisted. Read on to learn more. Mindfulness is linked to weight loss. Steve's acting roles helped him lose weight. While doing so, he developed a strong interest in weight loss, fitness, and mindfulness. So, off-screen, he provides numerous tips for dealing with the difficulties that many GH fans encounter. Steve Burton turned to Instagram stories on Friday to share photographs of two women he claimed had lost weight after following his program, and he encouraged others to do the same thing. It is a follow-up to a post he made on his profile page last week. Loving to see others succeed. In that post, the actual Jason Morgan expressed how much he enjoys helping people change the direction of their life, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually. He mentioned someone who struggled and followed his program. It worked and they thanked him. So he felt great about it because they had been struggling with their weight for almost 30 years. Happily, he described how he benefits from such success. When discussing his program, he stated, "You start to like yourself, and eventually you start to love yourself." He continued, "And when you love yourself, anything's possible." Maybe he should do a crossover with Dr. Now from My 600lb Life. It was a plug for his own side hustle, but ABC viewers didn't seem to mind. After all, he's popular among daytime drama viewers. They also received great comments from those who had previously worked with Steven. Reactions from fans. Some people who promote a hustle on social media may face backlash. However, in Burton's case, this rarely occurs because people can see his sincere desire to assist others. One of his fans said the GH actor must feel so awesome to help so many people. Another person who appeared to have completed the program stated, "Thank you, Steve, down 48 pounds and feeling better than I have in years." More praises followed and one reviewer said, "He has an excellent program. However, you must be willing to prioritize your needs. There is a lot of positivity and support." Willow's big decision, Emma's revenge on JOSSLYN, and Carly's questions for Vaughn. Willow, JOSSLYN, Carly, and Vaughn's lives are about to change dramatically as secrets are revealed, loyalties are tested, and revenge takes center stage. Willow is at a crossroads, facing a life-changing decision that could have far-reaching consequences for her and people she cares about. Meanwhile, Emma, spurred by betrayal and rage, plots her retribution against JOSSLYN, laying the groundwork for a confrontation that could end relationships permanently. At the same time, Carly's developing concerns about Vaughn prompt her to delve deeper into his background, unearthing revelations that could jeopardize everything he has built. As tensions rise and passions soar, each character must navigate a web of deception, love, and vengeance that will leave no one unharmed. Willow's big decision. Willow has always been a lady of principle, guided by her values and a strong sense of responsibility. But now she's divided between duty and passion, compelled to make a decision that could change her destiny. The weight of her decision rests heavily on her shoulders as she examines the implications for her family, relationships, and personal happiness. Willow has been dealing with an internal battle for months, which has kept her up at night. On the one hand, she feels obligated, whether to her profession, her loved ones, or a promise she made years ago. On the other hand, there is a silent desire for something more, a route that may lead to personal fulfillment, but at the expense of disruption. The individuals around her provide contradicting advice, each pulling her in a different direction, but the final decision is hers alone. Willow considers her alternatives while reflecting on past mistakes and missed opportunities. She wonders if this is her time to finally take charge of her life, or if acting on instinct will result in regret. The strain builds when an unexpected revelation presses her hand, giving her little time to think. Whatever she decides, there will be no turning back. Her decision will have far-reaching consequences for everyone who knows her. Emma's revenge on JOSSLYN. Betrayal hurts deep, and Emma is still dealing with the aftermath of JOSSLYN's actions. What began as a tight friendship, or perhaps something more, has turned into a vicious rivalry, and Emma is tired of playing the victim. The time for vengeance has come, and she plans to hold JOSSLYN accountable for the misery she has inflicted. Emma's strategy is deliberate, with each move aimed to undermine JOSSLYN's world piece by piece. She understands exactly where to strike: JOSSLYN's relationships, reputation, and sense of security. Emma launches her campaign with meticulously gathered secrets, offering hints about where they'll cause the most damage and manipulating events to paint JOSSLYN in the worst possible light. But retribution is a double-edged blade, and as Emma carries out her plan, she begins to wonder whether this route will actually bring her peace or merely deepen her own pain. There are times when doubt seeps in, remembering the relationship they once shared, catching glimpses of JOSSLYN's former self. However, Emma's wrath is too intense to resist, and she goes forward, determined to see her scheme through to completion. Meanwhile, JOSSLYN is completely ignorant of the maelstrom developing around her. She continues about her life, secure in her decisions, unaware that her past is going to catch up with her in the most catastrophic way. When the truth is revealed, the repercussions will be explosive, leaving both women to pick up the pieces of a friendship that may never be restored. Carly questions Vaughn. Carly has always trusted her instincts, and they are screaming that something is wrong with Vaughn. At first, he appeared like the ideal complement to her life, charming, supportive, and seemingly free of ulterior motivations. But lately there have been too many contradictions, too many occasions where his story doesn't quite fit together. Her doubts intensify when she discovers information that contradicts Vaughn's previous statements. A name stated in passing, an incorrect date, or sudden evasiveness when certain topics are brought up. Carly, never one to let things slip, launches her own inquiry, determined to find out the truth no matter where it leads. As she looks more, she realizes that Vaughn's backstory is significantly more tangled than he admits. There are unexpected connections and secrets that, if revealed, might have terrible consequences. The more she discovers, the more she questions if Vaughn ever actually cared about her, or if she was simply a means to an end. Confronting Vaughn will not be easy. He's good at deflection, putting questions back on her and making her question her own judgment. But Carly is tenacious, and she will not give up until she has answers. The confrontation between them is unavoidable, and when it occurs, Vaughn will be forced to reveal his true intentions, whether he wishes to or not. The collision of fates. As Willow struggles with her decision, Emma exacts her vengeance, and Carly uncovers Vaughn's secrets. Their storylines begin to intersect in unexpected ways. Choices taken by one will have ramifications for another, creating a tangled web of drama from which none can escape. Willow's resolution may give clarity or confusion, depending on the road she selects. Emma's wrath may provide brief satisfaction, but at what cost? Carly's quest of the truth has the potential to either save her from treachery or damage the fragile trust she has formed with people close to her. In the end, each of them must face the consequences of their decisions. Some will come out stronger, having learned difficult lessons about love, loyalty, and forgiveness. Others may find themselves alone, discovering too late that their decisions had cost them everything. According to General Hospital spoilers, Nina Reeves may have a surprise passion partner in the near future. Nina may resort to an unexpected man once her life goes wrong. So let's see what happens. Nina's relationship with Willow Corinthos is strained, as GH viewers are aware. Willow has finally come to trust and care about Nina, but her mother is fooling her on several critical topics. For starters, Willow is still unaware that Nina and Drew Kane were dating about the same time Drew fell for Willow. That buried secret is bound to be revealed at some point. Nina also came up with the notion of drugging Drew and starting his crazy night with Jacinda. Drew's scandal will be used against him in the forthcoming custody hearing, therefore Nina's actions could cost Willow her children. Willow will eventually learn about some surprising secrets and turn against Nina for what she has done. Nina and Willow's mother-daughter bond will collapse, and Nina may face prison time for her involvement in the drugging operation. Even if Nina manages to maintain her independence, she will be depressed and in need of comfort. This could be a wonderful opportunity to take Nina's romantic life in a new direction, while also creating more drama. When Rick Lansing initially arrived to Port Charles, it appeared like the drama would focus on a love triangle between Nina, Rick, and Ava Jerome. That did not work out, but it is not too late to reconsider the concept. Nina and Rick were married years ago, but she subsequently discovered he was plotting to seize her riches, and had an affair with her mother Madeline Reeves. Even then it was a long time ago, so Nina has no reason to carry a grudge, especially because Rick could be the ideal surprise passion companion. Rick and Ava are currently romantically connected, but their relationship may suffer if their blackmail alliance fails. Once Ava and Rick have parted ways, the stars may align for Rick and Nina to sleep together next. That might renew Nina's feud with Ava and cause some major havoc. Nina has a history of self-sabotage, so she may make matters worse for herself by developing affections for Rick until her life is completely destroyed. According to General Hospital spoilers, Nina will face some challenges anyway, so keep an eye out for all of the terrible news that is on its way. According to General Hospital spoilers, Nina Reeves may have a surprise passion partner in the near future. Nina may resort to an unexpected man once her life goes wrong. So let's see what happens. Nina's relationship with Willow Corinthos is strained, as GH viewers are aware. Willow has finally come to trust and care about Nina, but her mother is fooling her on several critical topics. For starters, Willow is still unaware that Nina and Drew Kane were dating about the same time Drew fell for Willow. That buried secret is bound to be revealed at some point. Nina also came up with the notion of drugging Drew and starting his crazy night with Jacinda. Drew's scandal will be used against him in the forthcoming custody hearing, therefore Nina's actions could cost Willow her children. Willow will eventually learn about some surprising secrets and turn against Nina for what she has done. Nina and Willow's mother-daughter bond will collapse, and Nina may face prison time for her involvement in the drugging operation. Even if Nina manages to maintain her independence, she will be depressed and in need of comfort. This could be a wonderful opportunity to take Nina's romantic life in a new direction, while also creating more drama. When Rick Lansing initially arrived to Port Charles, it appeared like the drama would focus on a love triangle between Nina, Rick, and Ava Jerome. That did not work out, but it is not too late to reconsider the concept. Nina and Rick were married years ago, but she subsequently discovered he was plotting to seize her riches and had an affair with her mother Madeline Reeves. Even then it was a long time ago, so Nina has no reason to carry a grudge, especially because Rick could be the ideal surprise passion companion. Rick and Ava are currently romantically connected, but their relationship may suffer if their blackmail alliance fails. Once Ava and Rick have parted ways, the stars may align for Rick and Nina to sleep together next. That might renew Nina's feud with Ava and cause some major havoc. Nina has a history of self-sabotage, so she may make matters worse for herself by developing affections for Rick until her life is completely destroyed. According to General Hospital spoilers, Nina will face some challenges anyway, so keep an eye out for all of the terrible news that is on its way. Chris McKenna, who presently plays Jack Brennan in the WSB's Port Charles on General Hospital, claims to have apprehended a criminal. Did the occasionally mysterious actor catch one in real life? Read on to learn more. The capture of a criminal. Chris has been extremely active on social media since taking over for Charles Measure as Jack Brennan. On Thursday night, he took to Instagram again and published a selfie of himself with a woman. In his caption he stated, "Brennan caught a killer. Who was she?" Julie Dove played Connie Viniski on Days of Our Lives. Remember, she was revealed to be the murderer of Lee Shin. It was displayed in a flashback scene, revealing that her character was considerably more complex than previously thought. Chris McKenna claims to have caught a criminal. The joking arrest. Chris McKenna caught a killer, but it appeared to be a friendly encounter between him and Julie Dove. He stood with his arm around her and grinned for the selfie. The real-life Jack ended his caption with hashtags to document the crossover meetup. #GH, #Dole, #Connie. Fans of GH and Dole reacted positively to the hilarious tweet, with many laughing emojis arriving. Aside from that, one user commented, "I love this, two very talented people." Here are a few additional thoughts from ABC fans. "It's good to see. Live for yourself. Cute crossover. What's up with Julie these days? Connie Viniski's plot was left open, so it's possible she'll return. However, her current social media activity suggests that she is content. She recently attended the Webby Award presentation. Chris McKenna's companion has also finished filming her role as Grace in Maria Capps' The Lady of the Lake. The film premiered in August of last year. Life has a habit of delivering unexpected curveballs, leaving even the most collected people grasping for stability. Nina, a woman who previously thought she had everything perfectly planned, was surprised by the cosmos. Her world, once a neatly woven tapestry of professional success, love stability, and personal fulfillment, fell apart in what seemed like the blink of an eye. An abrupt job loss, the termination of a long-term relationship, and a developing sense of disillusionment forced her to reconsider all she thought she knew about herself. But just when she felt she'd struck rock bottom, an unlikely figure appeared in her life, sparking a transformation she never expected. Nina had always been a lady who took pride in her independence. She developed her profession from the ground up, refusing to rely on others for her success. Her partnership, while far from perfect, had provided a sense of security, until it didn't. The split was chaotic, leaving her emotionally exhausted and questioning her judgment. Around the same time, corporate downsizing left her without the employment that had previously defined her. The foundations of her identity, professional achievement and love partnership, had broken, leaving her stranded. In the aftermath, Nina retreated, as many people do in times of difficulty. She spent weeks in self-imposed isolation, alternating between fury, grief, and numbness. Friends and relatives gave support, but their well-intentioned advice frequently felt empty. "You'll bounce back," they murmured, or "everything happens for a reason." But Nina wasn't looking for clichés. She was looking for something deeper, a means to reconnect with herself in a world that felt unfamiliar. Then, by chance or maybe fate, she came across an old journal. Flipping over its pages, she discovered entries from years ago, filled with visions she'd forgotten. Among them was a brief reference of a passion she had abandoned in favor of practicality: painting. Nina enjoyed losing herself in colors and brushstrokes as a youth, but as she grew older, she rejected it as a frivolous hobby. Now, with time stretching out in front of her, she wondered if recalling that forgotten love could provide relief. She purchased inexpensive goods and set up a makeshift studio in her apartment's spare room. Her early attempts were sloppy, her abilities rusty. However, with each stroke she felt something change within her. Painting became more than a distraction. It was a lifeline. The act of creating, of transforming blank canvases into something significant, restored her sense of control, which she had forgotten she had lost. However, something was missing. She craved mentorship, someone who could help her hone her skills and push her beyond her own boundaries. Enter Daniel, a recluse artist whose work Nina had admired from a distance. Known for his evocative landscapes and unconventional techniques, he was also notoriously secretive, rarely interacting with the public or accepting students. Nina reached out, driven by desperation and a sudden bravery. To her amazement, he replied. Their initial meeting was tense, with reluctant talk and prolonged silences. However, behind the surface there existed an unspoken agreement. Daniel recognized something in Nina's raw, unpolished work, an emotional honesty that could not be taught. What began as informal mentorship quickly grew into something considerably more significant. Daniel did more than simply teach Nina about color theory and composition. He also challenged her to face the feelings she had suppressed. She used painting to process her sadness, rage, and worries. Daniel, for his part, was re-energized by her zeal, rekindling his own creative spark after years of lethargy. Their dynamic was unique, part teacher-student, part collaborator, and part kindred souls navigating their own storms. As the weeks progressed into months, Nina's work began to receive attention. A local gallery owner was intrigued with her emerging style and invited her to participate in a group exhibition. The recognition was encouraging, but more importantly, it marked a watershed moment in her personal path. She was no longer defined by what she had lost but by what she was producing. Daniel, too, found himself re-entering the spotlight, his partnership with Nina sparking a new series of pieces that reviewers acclaimed as his finest in years. Their connection, while immensely important, wasn't without complications. Rumors circulated regarding the nature of their relationship. Were they simply artistic partners, or was there something more? Nina and Daniel never addressed the topic explicitly, preferring to let their work speak for itself. The truth was that labels felt insufficient. What they shared went beyond typical categories, founded in mutual respect, creative synergy, and an unwavering conviction in each other's abilities. For Nina, the voyage was about more than rekindling a lost passion. It was about reconstructing herself from the ground up. She had begun the relationship with Daniel shattered and uncertain, but through art, she discovered a means to rebuild herself, stronger and more self-aware than before. Daniel, too, had reached a crossroads, his creativity hampered by years of solitude. In mentoring Nina, he rediscovers his voice. The audience, of course, was enthralled by the tale. A woman reinventing herself after sorrow, an intriguing artist rising from the shadows. These were the types of stories that made headlines. But for Nina and Daniel, the true narrative was quieter, evolving in late-night painting sessions, shared silences, and the unspoken knowledge that the most deep connections can happen when we least expect them. Life's upheavals had pushed Nina to her knees, But in her weakness, she discovered something extraordinary. She had turned to art as an escape, only to discover that it held the key to her freedom. And in Daniel, she discovered not just a teacher or a companion, but a mirror. Someone who mirrored back the strength she didn't realize she possessed. The original headline's question, "Turns to this man after life blows up?" implies a straightforward response. But Nina's story never revolved around finding a man to save her. It was about discovering oneself, and in doing so, recognizing the people who help us recognize our own potential. Daniel did not fix Nina's life. Instead, he demonstrated to her that she was capable of doing it on her own. And in a culture that frequently reduces transformation to sensational soundbites, this truth was the most startling of all. While there, BLQ apologizes for telling Maxie that she had to pick between having her and Lulu as friends. Maxie accepts the apologies and admits that she was never going to pick. Brooklyn then informs her that she and Chase are taking measures towards adoption. Gio arrives and is still attempting to recover from Rocco's alcohol poisoning. He plays his violin as Chase and Anna dance tango. Chase then takes his wife for a spin around the floor while Gio plays. General Hospital recap May 12th. Sunny weighs Sidwell's offer with Jason and Lulu on a mission. Professor Dalton chooses his assistant. Emma Drake has been summoned to Professor Dalton's office, believing that she has secured the position as his summer research assistant. Instead, he tells her that he cannot have a research assistant who is unable to construct a data model. Emma is astounded when he shows her the corrupt file she has turned in. Emma is devastated as she leaves. Meanwhile, JOSSLYN Jax meets with her mother, Carly Spencer, at the Metro Court to catch up. Carly updates her on Sunny's heart operation, and then they are interrupted by Jack Brennan. He was only come to say hello, but Carly begs him to join them. Joss needs to leave to see Professor Dalton, so Carly stays with Jack while he tells her how important she is to him. Joss enters Dalton's office, and after expressing her how impressed he is with her work, he offers her the position of research assistant, as long as she agrees to sign an NDA. Emma decides to present the professor an earlier file of her work as proof that it was completed. When she enters his door, she discovers Joss filing folders away. General Hospital recap May 12th. Sunny weighs Sidwell's offer with Jason and Lulu on a mission. Sunny sees Sidwell's offer as his way out of business. Jason Morgan arrives at Sunny's and learns about Jen's offer to buy the piers. Sunny dislikes it, but he believes that if they hand over their region to Sidwell, they would be able to leave the business without repercussions. They can also invest money in a traditional firm and start over that way. Jason suspects it's a setup. They have always preserved the shoreline, and if they don't, all 5 families will move in. Sunny also implies that they no longer have to safeguard anything. If Sidwell is a tyrant, they may just let the feds move in on him. Sunny explains that in order to make the deal, he needs to be certain that Sidwell isn't the one attempting to kill him. Laura arrives after Jason has left. Sunny informs her that he might let Sidwell buy the piers because it would resolve both of their issues. General Hospital recap May 12th. Sunny weighs Sidwell's offer with Jason and Lulu on a mission. Tracy wants Lulu to end the adoption story. Tracy would eventually catch up with Lulu. Now that she understands about the kid Brooklyn gave up for adoption, she is determined to fight for her. Tracy informs Lulu that while spying in Martin Gray's room, she discovered information about Brooklyn's baby, and has been tormenting her ever since. Lulu tries to excuse her conduct, reminding Tracy that the adoption item was assigned to her by the newspaper rather than her. Tracy maintains that she should quit adding to BLQ's workload, and inform her editor that she has to do something else. She should be more understanding because she, too, was a pregnant adolescent. Lulu agrees to speak with her editor, but believes the father should be aware that he has a child out there. Before departing, Lulu grabs Carly at another table and informs her that she needs to speak with her quietly. Once at her residence, Lulu informs Carly that they must locate Dante's son since either Lulu or her mother is lying. Meanwhile, Jason meets with Tracy, who urges him to find her great-grandson. Romantic paths for Jason. These women offer true love. Jason has always been a man of depth, passion, and loyalty, yet love has escaped him in unexpected ways. He's looking for a mate who truly understands him, someone who can complement his skills, soothe his concerns, and support him through life's obstacles. Among the many women he has met, 5 stand out as prospective soulmates, each bringing a particular type of love that may complete him in ways he has only imagined.